Explained by the Billy Meier contacts. Mysteries, myths, legends, conspiracy theories, historical inaccuracies, and more. Compiled by David Chance, revised October 18, 2023.
Alien Autopsy Film. Alien Autopsy. Contact Report 253.
But what about the Roswell film that supposedly shows an autopsy of an alien being?
We could not find any evidence that a Jack Barnett or Jack Barrett, as Ray Santilli first really called the man, existed or actually shot the film. We even took the trouble to go back to the time of the crash and look for the place, but the facts there were quite different from those shown in the film. There was also no photographer or cameraman by the name of Jack Barrett present who would have filmed and stolen several film reels. Photographic and cinematographic shots were probably taken, but Army members and Secret Service personnel were responsible for this, delivering all relevant material to the responsible authorities. According to our investigations, the film is an infamous forgery that leaves nothing to be desired in terms of tastelessness, because a 16-year-old girl was irreverently and criminally abused as a model after she died of her illness, which defaced her.
Contact Report 256.
Another question. Florina told me to ask you how one calls the disease that struck the 16-year-old girl, who was slanderously portrayed as an extraterrestrial in the Santilli film. What disease did the girl suffer from?
Progeny note by Billy, plea RN designation.
Contact Report 331.
At the 256th contact on the 13th of May 1996, Ta and I talked about the so-called Santilli film. First I talked to you about it and asked you what the disease was called that the 16-year-old girl suffered from, who was defamatory portrayed in the film as an alien being. Tar explained that the disease was called proteria. Some time ago, language came back to this girl, but I could only tell you what the disease was, a so-called protoplasmic change of the whole body, as Ptah explained. When I looked for the term proteria in the medical textbook Pshirimbal, I could not find it. The only term I found was progeria, but this has nothing to do with proteria, because progeria is a still incurable disease, which children already succumb to, and within a few years show general symptoms of old and very old people.
The term proteria is not of earthly origin, but comes from our language, which is why you cannot find it in your textbooks. I do not know what the disease is called in your language.
I see, then I could have searched for the term for a long time. But what interests me now, where is the body of the girl who was abused for the movie? Do you know anything about it?
The whole thing is familiar to me, because it was clarified by us. The proterically ill and deceased girl herself was not abused for the reprehensible film and the alleged autopsy, but a macabre and malicious abuse only took place, in the form of an image being made of artificial materials according to the girl, and this being autopsied by alleged doctors and pathologists in a way that was appropriate for filming. So the deceased girl was not herself abused as a model, but only the plastic product, which was lying and fraudulently passed off as an extraterrestrial being.
Then again about the proteria. Can you tell me something more about it?
It is, as I said, a term that comes from our language for an extremely rare disease, which, like other diseases, is no longer present in our country, but still occurs in absolute isolated cases on Earth. And as we know, in the form in which the girl was ill, there is no other case known on Earth at the present time, which I can say because we record the illnesses of the people of the Earth when they are peculiarities. Proteria itself is, as I said, an extremely rare disease, which according to our records has only appeared 4 times on Earth in the last 700 years. The disease causes cellular and thus also gestalt, limb, and organ deformations, which ultimately lead to death. The age of people affected by this disease is very low, while the maximum age is between 15 and 20 years. And as I said before, the 16-year-old proteria girl was reverently used as a sequel to a dummy product, as you call it. a structure made of skin-like plastics, etc., equipped with similarly produced and animal organs as viscera and deliberately misrepresented as a Roswell alien being, on which a fake autopsy was then performed and banished to old stock of leftover film.